Hello everyone, today we present the full story of St. George and the Dragon. The story of St. George teaches us an important lesson. Even one brave person can change the world. St. George did not fight the dragon for gold or fame. He fought because it was right. He stood up for the weak, faced his fears, and chose kindness over reward. Just like St. George, we can be brave. Even when we are afraid, we can help others, even if it's not easy. We can speak up when something is wrong. We can protect what is good in the world. Courage is not the absence of fear, but doing what is right, even when it's hard. Let this story remind you, you don't need to be a knight to be a hero. You just need a good heart. Once, long ago, there was a quiet village in a green valley. The people were kind and worked hard. They grew food, raised animals, and helped each other. Children played in the fields and birds sang in the trees. It was a happy place, but one day, everything changed. A deep roar echoed through the valley. Birds flew from the trees. The sky turned dark, and a great shadow covered the village. People looked up and screamed. A dragon was flying above them. Its wings were wide like sails, its skin was green like moss, and its eyes were red like fire. The dragon flew low over the fields. Cows ran, horses neighed, chickens scattered. Then the dragon spoke. "I am hungry," it roared. "Give me food, or I will burn your homes." The villagers were terrified. They had never seen a dragon before. They ran into their homes and locked their doors. The mayor of the village, an old man named Edgar, came out shaking. "Please," he said, "don't hurt us. We will give you food." The dragon growled, "Good, I will return tomorrow. Bring cows and sheep to the lake." The next morning, the villagers brought animals to the lake. The dragon came and ate them all. It flew away, and the village was safe for now. But this was only the beginning. Days passed. Each morning the dragon came. Each morning it ate more animals. The people brought cows, goats, and pigs. But soon they had no animals left. "We can't keep feeding the dragon," said a farmer. "Soon we'll have nothing." The dragon roared louder each day. "I want more. I am hungry," it said. The mayor called a meeting. "What can we do?" he asked. "We cannot fight the dragon. We have no food left." A woman stood up. "If we give it one person a day, maybe it will leave the rest of us alone." Everyone gasped. "It is a terrible idea," the mayor said, "but it may be the only way." So the village made a sad rule. Each day they would write everyone's name on paper and draw one from a box. That person would go to the dragon. The lottery began. Each morning, one person walked to the lake. They were never seen again. The people cried, but they were too afraid to stop. The dragon smiled. Its belly grew bigger, and its eyes burned bright. One morning, the king of the land visited the village. He wanted to help, but he too feared the dragon. He agreed to the lottery, so all people, rich and poor, had equal chance. On the 7th day, the lottery box was opened. A servant reached in and pulled out a name. He turned pale. "It is Princess Helena." The crowd gasped. The princess was the king's only child. She was kind and loved by all. "No," the king shouted, "not my daughter." But the people spoke quietly. "We have lost sons, daughters, mothers, and fathers. We cannot change the rule. Princess Helena stepped forward. I will go, she said calmly. I love this land. If I must die to save it, I will, the king cried. He held her hand. You are brave, my child. That evening, the princess wore a white dress and walked to the lake. The people stood in silence, watching her go. As the princess waited by the water, a rider appeared on the road. He wore silver armor and carried a red cross on his shield. His horse was white like snow. Who is that? Whispered a child. The rider stopped in the village square. I am George, a knight of the realm. Why are you so sad? The villagers told him the story. The dragon, the lottery, the princess. George frowned. A dragon that eats people? This must end. He rode to the lake. He saw the princess standing by the water. Why are you here alone? He asked. She turned and said softly, I am the next to die. The dragon comes for me. George stepped off his horse. No, I will fight it. The princess looked into his eyes. You are brave, but it is dangerous. He nodded. Even so, I must try. St. George and the princess sat by the water. She told him about the people, the fear, and the lottery. George listened. You are strong, he said, to stand here and not run. I am afraid, she admitted. But I must help my people. You already have, said George. You brought me here. Suddenly the wind changed. The sky turned gray. He is coming, whispered the princess. George stood up. Go behind that rock. I will face him, she hid. George drew his sword. The dragon came from the hills, fire in its mouth. The dragon saw the knight. Who are you? It growled. I am George. I will stop you. The dragon laughed. You are just a man. It flew into the air and blew fire. George blocked it with his shield. He ran forward and swung his sword. It hit the dragon's leg. The dragon screamed and struck with its tail. George flew back and hit the ground. He stood again. He ran, dodged fire, and struck the dragon's neck. The dragon cried out. Blood flowed. It grew weak. George saw an open spot under its wing. He threw his spear. The spear flew straight. It hit the heart. The dragon roared one last time, then fell. People saw the dragon fall. They ran from the village to the lake. Is it dead? Asked one man. Yes, said George. You are free. The king arrived. He hugged his daughter. Thank you, brave knight, he said. What reward do you want? Asked the mayor. George smiled. No reward. I ask only this care for one another. Live in peace. The princess gave him a rose. To remember us, she said. The people cheered. They danced and sang. A great feast was held in the village. Tables were full of food. Children laughed. Music filled the air. The king gave a speech. St. George saved us. He is a hero. The people gave him gifts: bread, honey, wine, and a silver cup. George stayed one more night. He told stories of other lands and gave the children rides on his horse. In the morning, he rode away. The village waved and cried. He is gone, said the princess, but we will never forget him. Years passed. The village grew strong. The people lived in peace. They remembered George's words. They helped one another. They taught children to be kind and brave. Every spring they placed red roses near the lake. The princess became queen. She ruled with love and wisdom. She always kept a rose near her heart. George gave us more than freedom, she said. He gave us hope. In time, the story of St. George spread across the land. England chose him as its patron saint. His red cross became the flag. On April 23rd each year, people wear red roses. Children act out the story. They dress as dragons and knights. Villages hold fairs. They remember the man who fought evil not for reward, but for justice. And so the legend lives on. In every heart that chooses courage over fear, kindness over cruelty, the spirit of St. George rides again.